Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Kutikadas, a podcast where we bring you enchanting stories from Hindu culture, Indian folklore, and timeless parables filled with magic, adventure, and life lessons. Are you ready for today's tale? Let's begin! Before we begin today's tale, let's start off with 3 ohms. Take a deep breath in, and when you exhale, say Om for as long as you can. Varaha, the Boar. Today we are going back to our series, the Dashavatara. Let's quickly recap them. Can you say them with me? Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parshurama, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki. Each of these forms teach us something very special, that God exists in all creatures, big or small, and will always come to protect Dharma and his devotees. We've already heard the stories of Matsya, the fish who saved the Vedas, and Kurma, the turtle who helped during the churning of the ocean. Today, let's hear the thrilling tale of Varaha, the great boar who lifted the earth. But, like many of our stories, this one begins with a curse. Long ago, after Brahma created the universe, he also created 4 sons from his thoughts. They were known as the Brahma Kumaras, wise, learned, and deeply spiritual. Even though they looked like children, their knowledge was vast. They traveled through all the worlds, admiring his creation and seeking the truth. One day, they arrived at the gates of Vaikunta, the home of Lord Vishnu. Full of devotion, they asked to see the Lord, but the gates were guarded by 2 powerful beings, Jaya and Vijaya. "Stop," they said. "Lord Vishnu is resting. No visitors allowed, especially not children." The Kumaras explained who they were, but the guards didn't believe them. "To enter Vaikunta," they said, "you must have conquered the world like Jaya and mastered yourself like Vijaya." The Kumaras were hurt. All they wanted was to offer their love and prayers to the Lord, and they knew Vishnu never turns away a true devotee. So they spoke with a firm voice. "You don't understand your Lord. You've blocked devotion with pride. We curse you. You shall lose your celestial forms and be born as mortals on earth, separated from Lord Vishnu." Jaya and Vijaya were heartbroken. Being away from Lord Vishnu was their greatest fear. They fell at Lord Vishnu's feet and begged him to undo the curse. Vishnu said gently, "My dear gatekeepers, the Brahma Kumaras are great devotees, and you should have listened to them. Though the curse cannot be taken back, I will give you a choice. You can be born 7 times as my devotees, or 3 times as my enemies." This was a hard decision, but Jaya and Vijaya didn't want to be away from their Lord for so long. So they chose the shorter path, to be born 3 times as enemies of Lord Vishnu. And so, in their first age, Satya Yuga, they were born as 2 mighty Asura brothers, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And that is where our story of Varaha begins. Hiranyaksha was born to the sage Kashyapa and his wife Diti, and grew up to become the powerful king of the Asuras. With years of intense meditation, he pleased Lord Brahma and received a terrifying boon that no being, mortal or immortal, could defeat him in battle. Armed with this power, Hiranyaksha challenged the Devas. He defeated them all, even Varuna, the god of the ocean, and claimed control over the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. But Hiranyaksha didn't care much for the earth, so in his arrogance, he threw the entire earth into the bottom of the ocean. The gods were in panic. Without the earth, there could be no life. They rushed to Lord Vishnu and prayed, "Please help us, save the earth, and defeat Hiranyaksha." Lord Vishnu smiled and said, do not worry. I will restore balance." And then he took the form unlike any other. Lord Vishnu transformed into Varaha, a massive divine boar with powerful tusks. With a thunderous roar, Varaha dived deep into the cosmic ocean. He searched the dark waters until he saw her, Bhudevi, Mother Earth, lying at the bottom of the sea. But guarding her was Hiranyaksha, waiting for battle. He looked at the boar and laughed. "What is this beast doing here?" He didn't realize that this was no ordinary animal. This was Lord Vishnu himself. A great battle began beneath the ocean waves. For years the two fought. The ocean trembled, the sky shuddered, but at last Varaha defeated Hiranyaksha, lifting him on his tusks and hurling him aside. Then gently and lovingly, he lifted Bhudevi, the earth, on his tusks and rose to the surface, saving her from the depths. The earth was safe once more. The gods rejoiced. Balance had been restored. And as they rose from the ocean, Bhudevi asked, "My lord, is there any sacred way for your devotees to remember you in this beautiful form?" Varaha smiled and said, "Yes, there is a secret mantra that pleases me greatly. Om Naham Shri Varahe Dharanyu Uddharne Swaha. This mantra brings joy to my heart. It can free a soul from sorrow and bring all kinds of blessings. Even Ananta, the Lord of Serpents, chants this mantra." Now there are several famous Varaha temples, but one of the most famous temples includes the Sri Varaha Swami temple in Tirumala, Andhra Pradesh, where it is said that Varaha chose to reside after saving Bhudevi. Now to my favorite part. What is the moral of this story? Never judge someone by how they look. Jaya and Vijaya judged the Brahma Kumaras just because they looked like children. But true wisdom and devotion are not always visible on the outside. We must treat everyone with respect, young or old. Until next time, we'll meet Hiranyaksha's brother, the fierce Hiranyakashipu, and hear how Lord Vishnu returned again in the form of Narasimha, the lion man who protected a little boy with big faith. Until next time, keep learning and keep smiling. Hari Sharanam.